I'm Grace, and I have autism level 2. And I was able to self-publish a book all on my own. And here's how I did it. So, if you're familiar with autism, or if you have autism, or let's say you don't know much about it, I would say that autism is pretty complicated. I have autism level 2, and I am very socially awkward. I have high social anxiety, and that, from my knowledge, does seem to be a common occurrence in autism level 2. Uh, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a professional by any means. Just so you know, I am not a doctor. Uh, Okay? And so this is not to be taken as, clinical advice. This is just my self publishing journey. I was able to self publish this little short book called The Little Vampire and the Little Witch. So, how did I self publish this and why? I really didn't want to go the traditional publishing route, mainly because I had anxiety. I was diagnosed with anxiety at the time, but I was not diagnosed with autism when I self published this book. I knew, though, that I didn't want to be traditional in the sense that I followed the directions of literary agents and publishing houses. I didn't want my work changed at all. I did have beta readers, but it was people I knew, and it was only two. And I had them read it over and over again, and I read it over and over again. Is this the perfect novel? No, but I feel that me being autistic and having social anxiety in general, that any other hands touching this book would have felt wrong to me. And I want you to do what feels right for you as an individual, whether you have autism or not. Something else, if you're just normal, whatever. Normal is subjective, right? So, yeah, that's what I want for you. And that's what I wanted for myself, was to publish this on my own, with my own research, with little minimal involvement from others. Now, the people who did read this book for me were very helpful with grammar and any misspellings and how the flow of the story went. But as far as changing scenes or the plot, I didn't want them to have a hand in that at all. And I specifically asked them to just really give me advice and feedback on the overall flow of the book and, some ideas they might have as well. But yeah, that's basically it. And for grammar, misspelling, and I did get a lot of help from my sister in uploading and getting the page numbers right and the documents online and uploading this to draft to digital. I used, spoiler, draft to digital to publish my book. That really was the way to go for me. This is a children's dark fantasy, I would call it. Children's books, from my research, don't really do too well on Amazon Kindle Unlimited, which I did test that out for a little bit, and that's not for me. That's not for my children's book, at least. Draft to digital for my ebook did better overall for my book. How much did I sell? Well, not many at all. And why? Because I don't like marketing. I didn't write this book to really make money. I self-published this book to show myself that I could do it, to have this tangible evidence in my hands, to smell the pages, to see the artwork that I created and see that on paper. That felt amazing to me, to see the words I had written be on paper and to feel the book in my hands. I am not a sponsorship and I don't know too much about Ingram Sparks or other platforms. However, I felt that Draft to Digital was the easiest for me to get started. It was easy, it was smooth overall. Amazon was actually a bit more difficult to upload individually, too. So that's my personal experience, but you may have a different experience. Now, what I will say is numbering each page was really difficult for me, and I had to get help from my sister. And that was even a head scratcher for her as well. And for me, I don't even remember how we solved it, but we did. And I know that I don't really want to put artwork in my books again as well. It was quite baffling to accomplish easily. That was the hardest part for me, was getting everything correct in terms of the documents and alignment of images and alignment of numbers. The difficult part was I don't have Microsoft Word, but even online, there's a website for Microsoft Word. I could not get the page numbers correct. So what I mean is page 1 starts on, really in the document, several pages down, because I have the copyright page, I have the front cover page. But so that was a headache for me, was getting the page numbers correct and the images correct. Thinking back on it, it's kind of stressful, but making the front and back cover was awesome and fun. Making the blurb, writing the book was easy for me and fun and fulfilling. Self-publishing it was easy and fun and fulfilling. It's just actually uploading the documents and, aligning everything. That was really kind of a head scratcher for me. So it may be different for you, and I hope it is. In advance, if this is your first time self-publishing, my tip for you is to figure out page numbers. Do you want to know or have a good idea of where you would like your numbers to be on the page? Mine, I chose to be at the bottom. And also be aware that your pictures, if you have images, they may be a little tricky as well, but you can get through it, okay? Draft to Digital, in my opinion, has a very smooth self-publishing system. Now, this is not a complete tutorial on Draft to Digital. There are other YouTube videos out there that are wonderful that I suggest you look into. So, being autistic and not understanding things fully like others do, and wanting to really take things into my own hands, and having social anxiety, I don't really want to work with other people. I worked with ChatGPT. Now, hold on, don't go crazy, please. I think AI has its benefits. So, I did ask ChatGPT for help with grammar and just to see if ChatGPT felt like everything was flowing well. So ChatGPT was my, I would say, third beta reader. Now, I did not take everything that ChatGPT suggested as good suggestions. Some of it was good, and I took it, and I used it, and I liked it, but everything is really my own voice, and I rejected a lot of what ChatGPT told me I should do. In my eyes, just like how you would pay someone to edit your book, I felt like I was getting that with ChatGPT. And I could talk with ChatGPT and not be judged and not have to send an email back and forth, send my manuscript to someone I don't know. And it was really helpful for me with my state of mind. Now, it's okay if you don't agree. If you think this is slop because of it, then I disagree. But hopefully you don't think that. I want to assure you that this is completely my own story, and I only used ChatGPT for grammatical errors and helping the flow of the story improve. Another beta reader I would say is Quillbot. Quillbot helped with punctuation, grammar, spell check. It was awesome. And for Quillbot, I will say that it doesn't catch everything the first time you upload your document. So what I do is I upload to Quillbot my document, and then it catches errors. I go through all of them. So I'm editing this all myself, okay? I'm like, great, that's perfect. But no, I'm not done. I put this through ChatGPT as well and make sure that I'm not missing anything that ChatGPT may pick up on. So I correct any errors that ChatGPT suggests. And I'm being aware that it is AI and I need to put in my own thoughts into it. Okay. I do know that I need to put my own human brain into it before I just go with what they suggest, which I did. A lot of times I said, no, that's not really what's happening in this sentence. So I'm going to ignore that suggestion, that edit suggestion. And so when that's done, I re-upload it to Quillbot. And what do you know? Quillbot catches new things. And I say I did that several times just to make sure all of my ends were tied up, if that's the saying, just to make sure everything was clean. That's how I did it. If there was a chance that I could learn about marketing and not be overwhelmed, then I would do it. But I'm not about doing things socially, like marketing and saying, hey, buy my book, it's amazing. Your children would love this, because then I feel like I'm telling someone to do something. I just don't like that. If they want to read it, then they want to read it. That's kind of how I feel. That's okay. Here's something new for me. When I found out I was autistic, it reaffirmed that I did the right thing by self-publishing for me. And it explained a lot of my behaviors and why I even went that route and why I chose to do things the way I chose to do them in my creativity and in my passions and endeavors like writing. I have decided to try at least to market this book. And I thought maybe I could make a YouTube channel like this. And so I want to say, here is my book, The Little Vampire and the Little Witch. But I'm not forcing on people. I just want to market in a way that I feel is organic. If you like my videos, if you like hearing about my books, about my writing, and you're interested, then you can go take a look. You don't have to purchase, you don't have to do anything. The main goal of this video, this channel, is to inspire you to do anything you want to do and to try, and hopefully to inspire. Maybe you just put this video on in the background while you're creating, and that's my goal, because I like to do that. I like to put on things in the background when I'm doing things creative myself. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind all of this. I also want to say that although this image and a couple of images in my book were AI generated, I did create the idea in my head and told AI what I wanted this picture to look like. However, this is not completely AI. I did see things that I did not like about it, and if this was free, by the way, I used free credits on a website, an AI website, and my sister, who is amazing at graphic art, she fixed the image for me and made it better. And so I can say that this was created by my sister and also by AI, and that makes me happy. I also drew the eyes of the characters because I wanted it to look kind of like those Precious Moments figurines. I'll let you see. So, with the help of my sister, I was able to create the image I adore, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I will say this cover is so soft. I don't recommend gloss because I think it's too shiny, but if you want a shiny look, go for it. But I like that this is a matte finish and it just feels so soft. I love it. I chose, I guess, the regular yellow page. I think you can choose between two different pages. I think I chose yellow and not gray or white. I think there's two different kinds you can choose from. It's been about a year and a half since I published this, and without marketing at all, I've sold 18 books. And that may not seem like a lot to you or to some people, but for me, I was very surprised and happy to know that even 18 people have read this book or at least picked it up. And that touches my heart. Also, some of these images I did draw myself, and I tried to have AI incorporate similar looking images, but I think there's actually only one AI image in here. I drew this. I love mushrooms, so I put that little guy in there on the window. And I drew this. And so I'm actually studying drawing right now. I bought an iPad Air and I am actually working on a video game animation. And so that's fun. So I am working on my art skills, and stay tuned for vlogs on that as well, because I will be doing vlogs on that because I think it's such an exciting thing for me to create a video game with my partner. So this is actually an image from Canva. So I put these images together. So what I did was I found Canva images and I played around with them. And I think that was a fun part of making this book as well, was playing around with Canva and making images of my own. And, you know, if you want to put images in your book, or if you do Canva for anything, I think that's a great idea. Great free idea that is creative and makes you feel like you're putting in your own style. And so yeah, but will I be making art for my books again? Probably not. And again, why did I draw this on my own? And why did I use Canva and like one image from an AI website that I made sure blended in well with the other art? I didn't want to talk to people. I don't like working with other people creatively if I don't know them personally, and that has made work in general in my life challenging. I'm very proud of this book, despite, I guess, the back roads I took to create it. Yeah, this is hopefully going to help you if you're going through a similar situation. Know that you can do it. That's my goal. Thank you so much. If I have any links, they will be down below. Take care, and I wish you the best. Good luck.